he tosses the dude on the train tracks and he goes, "Hey, the light at the end of the tunnel, it's not heaven, it's the C train." That was my favorite.
Is that really how he ends that quote?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Yes.
And then he just gets run over.
I thought he said something smart after that. I remember he said, "That's not heaven." But then I thought he said something like clever or like witty or whatever. And he's like, "No, that's the C train."
It's the C train, dude.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Pacific Standard, guys. My name is Carter Briggs, and with me, as always, are my two beautiful, lovely, adorable co-hosts, Abel Stoika.
Hi.
And Mason Winter.
Why'd you sing it?
I don't fucking know, dude.
Can't remember.
Today, we are talking about the movie Daredevil, and I hope my friends will allow me to go first. I hope they will.
Yeah, you get to describe the plot of this movie first.
Okay, great. Okay, so Abel, you want to give us when this movie came out and who directed it?
This movie came out, and I believe, straight from memory, I know it's 2003. I believe it came out on Valentine's Day, and it was directed by Mark Steven Johnson. Oh, he did Ghost Rider. He did the first Ghost Rider, and he directed nothing else of note besides Daredevil and Ghost Rider 2007.
Okay, cool.
That makes sense.
So I'll break down the plot if that's okay.
That's okay.
So it was a long movie, like a very long movie. So it kind of starts with Karen Page, and Karen Page just works a regular office job, but it seems like she has murdered somebody.
You think you're so funny.
But then
You really do.
Then two lawyers named Matt Murdock, played by Charlie Cox, and Foggy Nelson, played by Foggy Nelson. They acquit her, but we find out that Matt Murdock, the blind lawyer, is in fact a superhero. He's a vigilante. He doesn't really have a name until like the last kind of act of this 8-act movie. You know what I'm saying? And there's this shadowy figure.
I don't know what you're saying.
Huh?
I don't know what you're saying. I need you to deliberate more.
What are you talking about?
The audience, nor I, Carter, is amused. Okay.
All right, fine. I was talking about the much better version of Daredevil that I watched this week, but I did watch the movie. So, here's the plot of the movie. The movie opens with a shot that's supposed to look pretty and biblical, but it just looks dumb and bad. And then it has flash forwards to shit that happened in the movie, but also flashbacks because it happened previously in time, but it will happen later in the movie.
This is like maybe the most horrendously misplaced beginning of a movie I've ever seen.
It's awful.
It is so bad.
It's awful. But then Ben Affleck, who's Daredevil, is not blind ever in this movie. Like nothing. There's nothing blind about this character. And it just is it's a shitty love story between him and a billionaire. There's a kingpin of crime, and he beats up the kingpin of crime after the kingpin of crime kills his girlfriend.
Yeah. And then there's a Bullseye.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Does some random stuff.
Because Colin Farrell just is like, fuck this, I'm going to be crazy for no reason. And it's kind of fun.
He's like the most normal actor to be like a strange actor, you know? Like, you look at Colin Farrell, like, he just seems like a very normal person, and then he just does a bunch of weird stuff. I feel like in, like, every movie.
Yeah, and it's great. But anyway, that was this movie. I have a lot of points. I'm going to kick the shit out of this movie, all right? And I know it's a cold take to kick the shit out of 2004 Daredevil, but I got a lot of fucking questions.
2003.
Oh, whatever. I got a lot of questions.
Did you even listen to a word I said?
Look, no, I was planning my bit.
You're clearly blinded by rage, and I think you need to take a breath.
I'm going to make my first point, and then I'm going to shut up for a minute. But my first point is, this is right in the middle of the era where they thought CGI could do everything.
This is like Matrix Reloaded levels of CGI and everything.
It's so much CGI. It's everything. They CGI Ben Affleck running because I don't think Ben Affleck can run, and he's not very fast. And you can see it in the way that he runs, like he's smoked his whole life. He looks out of breath at every running scene.
I think Ben Affleck, he's not the absolute worst in this movie, but he's not great. And he feels like wet cardboard compared to Charlie Cox's Daredevil, who I feel like is just such a stronger fit for the character.
He is, but there is one aspect Ben Affleck plays perfectly.
What?
He's a skank Daredevil. Daredevil's a skank. He's a hoe Daredevil.
He sniffs out a hot girl.
He literally sniffs out hot girls.
Guilt trips her. He trips her into flirting with him by being blind.
The way Foggy reacts to it, that's the move he always does.
Yeah. And then she leaves the restaurant and he follows her, like nagging her for a name, and then grabs her by the wrist.
And then fights her on a playground.
And he does that stupid ass thing with his, like, I can't remember what they call it, the like blind walking stick. Like he flings it up into the air. And then he flips it around for a bit. It felt like we were still doing our Looney Tunes marathon when that moment happened.
It really did.
It was ridiculous.
That scene is gotta be one of the worst scenes ever put to film. It has to be.
It's like, have you guys seen the Catwoman movie from 2004?
No.
With Halle Berry?
No, I don't hate
There's a scene very similar to this one where she's playing basketball after she gets superpowers, and it's like
she does a front flip and dunks.
Yeah.
It's fucking lit.
Really, really reminiscent of each other.
Amazing.
Back to what I was saying about the intro of this movie. It starts with a scene right before like the ending of the third act. So you're like, he looks like he's like mortally wounded and he's like talking to his pastor. Then it flashes back and I was like, okay, I don't like how this starts at the end because it doesn't make sense. There's no like thematic through line, at least that I could tell. But I'm like, okay, so it's going to start at the end and then it's going to go back to the beginning of the story of him like being an adult, right? No, it goes back to his childhood and then does 15 minutes of exposition of his origin as a kid before it gets back to him in like current day when he's like doing his normal stuff, which is so the flow of the story is so wrong feeling. Like they should have just broken that up into like little flashbacks. That was like a third of the amount of time, just like somewhere else in the middle when you're already like invested, you know? I feel like that would have been so much better. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, in that flashback, in the comics, in the Netflix show, which is great, he's battling Jack Murdoch. Because he loses, and it sounds better. In this, he's Jack the Devil Murdoch, which sucks. It's terrible. Why would you ever give that nickname to a boxer? It's a shitty boxer nickname. Like, what does that even mean? They also miss the entire, like, Catholicism aspect of Daredevil. They try to hit it. This is the worst line ever put to cinema. When he goes, "I'm not the bad guy."
Yeah. Like, yeah, he beats this guy up, like, to shit. Like, this guy is fucked up. He's like almost dead. And then he looks over at the guy he just beat up's kid who's just screaming and crying.
Who he didn't notice, even though he notices everything around him all the time. That's literally his superpower.
And he turns and he looks at the kid and he goes, "I'm not the bad guy." And he's like confused.
And then it cuts to him on a rooftop going, "I'm not the bad guy."
He answers his own question in the next scene. Like literally the next line.
But also,
it's so funny.
That never comes up again in the movie. There's never a point in the movie where you're like, Daredevil's the bad guy in this movie.
No.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean, what am I talking about?
He murders a dude right off the bat. What are you talking about? He throws the dude on the train tracks and lets the train run him over.
I know, but that happens before the bad guy scene.
And it was badass.
Like, after that, he doesn't kill anybody. He throws Bullseye out a window, but he never questions that morally. And then he beats the shit out of Kingpin, and Kingpin's like, I'm not going to go to jail. You have no evidence against me. And he's like, yeah, but what are you going to tell him? That you got beat up by a blind man? And in my mind, I was like, yes? What? Like, what? I don't get... He didn't beat Kingpin. He just kicked his ass. That's...
Wait, what?
Okay, the point of Kingpin as a character, and they do this perfectly in the Netflix show, is that not only is he a giant monster, right? He's untouchable. Like, you don't even see him until episode 4. He runs all the crime in New York, and there's no trail leading back to him. Everybody who knows his name, he kills. Everybody who is in his way ends up dead or missing. He is next to untouchable. And in this movie, he's just not. Like, he leaves a fucking calling card. Everybody keeps saying the kingpin of crime. He's clearly the kingpin of crime. He's in a bunch of legal disputes. Like, he would have been caught before this, because people would have been like, hey, all these dead bodies keep showing up with roses. And then people go, the kingpin killed that guy. I wonder who did it. Like,
it's like the wet bandits.
He leaves, like, such a clear trail. And then at the end... Daredevil hasn't collected any evidence or, like, made anybody flip. He just swings over after Bullseye goes, it's Fisk. He just swings over to Fisk and kicks his knees in. Because it started to rain.
I wasn't even really, like, paying attention to the plot, honestly. At this point, I was like, this is stupid. What am I doing here?
It was bad. And then also in that scene where he gets stabbed by Elektra, and then Bullseye kills Elektra while he sits there groaning. Like, you got stabbed through the shoulder. Get up. Aren't you supposed to be the devil of Hell's Kitchen? Aren't you, like, you're the boy without fear, as you said in the exposition.
It's funny because, like, in the Daredevil show, like, it is, like, toxic waste that blinds him and gives him, like, kind of enhanced other senses, you know? But he doesn't, like, get he's not, like, a metahuman besides that. Like, he's not, like, stronger and, like, can withstand more. I don't feel like he feels like just a normal guy who has enhanced senses.
He has enhanced senses. He can heal a little faster because of meditation, and he just can take a beating. That's it. He's just Rocky, but blind.
And in this movie, he's, like, doing all sorts of crazy, like, flips and stuff because he turns into a rubber doll.
He jumps off a, like, 50-story building.
Yeah, but then he gets stabbed once, and he's, like, basically dead.
He's down for the count.
Until he just gets up and decides not to be dead anymore.
Yeah, after Elektra gets run through.
When they fight each other, he goes, I didn't kill your father. And then she just does the dumbest, it's like a stage whisper. She just barks back, liar. Also, like, no hesitation. It's the funniest thing ever.
Why is the green of her eyes CGI?
Yeah, that looked horrendous. It was so disorienting.
It was terrible. Ugh. Mason hasn't said anything. Mason, what do you think?
What? No, it's a bad movie. Yeah, I don't know.
But did you find any...
Mason likes the movie.
Wait, did you find...
Dude, I just don't have the energy to argue right now, bro. Like, I don't want to have all my points eviscerated and picked apart. Like, I'm not gonna eviscerate.
I don't
have it, bro.
I'm not gonna eviscerate. Just say, what were the redeeming qualities in this movie?
No, I just thought... Overall, I thought it was more a laughable, fun watch rather than like this movie's horrendous, I can't watch this.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I love it. I think it's so... I mean, it's a bad movie, but, like, there's a reason I've seen it, like,
I think it's just a
times.
tropey early 2000s superhero movie. And I think it shows in, like, a lot of...
Yeah. No, you're right.
They hit the reflection shots in the puddles and in Daredevil's goggles. I don't know, the visualization of the echolocation I really like.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good way to show the audience how Daredevil's powers kind of work with his hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then highlighting how he can't really see stuff if it's not putting off any sort of noise.
It reminds me, like, visually of in the Dark Knight when he gets, like, the echolocation goggles.
The one thing I didn't like is the first scene he has it in the flashback. They keep cutting away from it back to him. And I'm like, no, keep it on this so that we're as disorientated as him. Stay on this until the dad comes in. Because we know he's just in a hospital room. Like, we're not tense. What? Like, we don't give a shit.
In the same vein as the echolocation, though, I really liked the detail of having the sensory deprivation tank as like meditation for him.
Yeah.
As like respite from all the noise from the world.
The only way he can sleep is it. That's a good. I thought
that was really cool.
That's a good character.
It's totally undercut by when he is listening to music and cranks it as loud as it can go.
Well, that's to drown it out. That one also made sense.
The soundtrack of this movie is great. It's so alt emo rock. It's fantastic.
It's the best.
The Evanescence training.
Evanescence
montage.
during Elektra's training. It's so good.
That was when I watched this for the first time. That was the moment that I'm like, I'm watching a classic right now. This is unbeatable. Like, you could not make this up. Like, if you told me that there was a Daredevil movie where they played this song, I wouldn't have believed you until I saw it just in the movie, because it's so memed to death now.
Also,
and I was like listening to the rest of the song, like as it kept going, and I was like, maybe I should try listening to Evanescence. I kind of like.
I love that song. That's a great song.
It's actually yes.
But like, it's also funny that he just leaves like a flaming double D symbol wherever he is.
I legitimately was like, how did he? Okay, I think this movie is.
He just pours gas over everything.
I know, but like I don't know. He draws it so perfectly, even though he's a blind man. Here's the thing. This movie is like, I didn't have fun watching it, but I laughed a lot.
That's on you, man.
It is on me. It's because it's because I just didn't want to. I can't do things if I don't want to do them. I laughed a lot. I didn't enjoy my time watching this movie. It's also because I was also watching in preparation for my bit that I did. I'm watching season 1 of Daredevil, and just the stuff they do in it is so much better. Like, it's not just that he has this radar sense hearing. He can smell what you ate 3 days ago. Like, every one of his other senses is showcased to be much better. And in this, he's just a bat. You know what I mean? Like, he just has an echolocation, which to me is not as interesting. Also,
no.
Ben Affleck, I feel like I don't think this movie is his fault.
No.
I just think they were like...
Have you heard the talk? I've heard rumors about it. About how he got the role and was super excited and like went to the directors with all these like ideas for the character.
Yeah, apparently
I think they chopped a bunch of shit and like...
He said he read every Daredevil comic in preparation.
Yeah, I think he really wanted to do...
There's so many.
Credit to this role, but...
yeah.
I think he says that, like, I was looking on Wikipedia, like, he says that Daredevil was his favorite superhero growing up, which is like, I don't know how many comics Ben Affleck read growing up, but I mean, I believe him. Like, I don't see why not.
It honestly...
I mean, to the point about like some of the acrobatic stuff, in some of the comics, like the little experience I have, Daredevil's kind of swinging around with Spider-Man sometimes.
He is.
Yeah.
In the comics, I would not have had a problem with it if they went full comic booky. The leather emo rock, like this movie doesn't know what its tone is, basically. Because if they wanted,
I thought the costume was all right.
The costume was actually great for the time. I think the costume was the best costume they could have made at the time. But I'm saying, if you want to have emo rock, am I the bad guy Daredevil, he can't also be jumping from 50-story buildings and swinging with his sticks. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. It kind of has to be either he's swinging around with Spider-Man and it's a funny good time and he's sleeping with She-Hulk and 15 other women in that issue, or he's like a sad, or it's the Netflix, or you can do the Netflix show.
Yeah, and or he's kind of like Batman if he was broke.
Yeah, he's just a man who goes out and he beats the shit out of criminals because he's got major anger issues and he can't form a meaningful connection and he's kind of a hoe.
And, like, I really like Ben Affleck in other things. Like, Gone Girl is one of my favorite movies of all time, and he is really, really good in that movie. And he's like a decent director too. Like I've seen Argo, that was him, and he's also in that movie. I think he wrote Good Will Hunting with Matt Damon.
Yep.
Like he's got a lot of examples of his talents, and I really just couldn't get into his performance here. I'm not sure what it was, but something just felt like incredibly like just off about it.
Well, they made it into a love story more than a superhero movie.
Yeah, with Elektra, who's like in this movie at least like one of the like dullest love interest characters like of all time. She's
so boring.
Her character, I wrote a little list of 3 defining characteristics of Elektra. 1, she's so hot, everyone is obsessed with her. 2, she falls in love with Daredevil immediately.
So fast.
And 3, she needs someone to be her protector because she's just a scared little woman, but also she's a badass who doesn't need a man.
She falls in love with Daredevil so fast, even though it's like borderline like you should be pepper sprayed behavior coming off of Daredevil.
Yeah.
When they meet.
Well, here's the thing. Not only was she caught off guard because he was blind, and she was like, oh, a handsome blind man. But then she tests him with Kung Fu, and he goes toe-to-toe with her. So she's like, oh, okay. I know all about this guy.
But also...
leading up to the Kung Fu, it was very strange behavior of him following her and like trying to
that's just
physically
superhero
grab
flirting,
her.
Dude.
But also that's fine. But also it doesn't seem like he's blind in any of that, because we, the audience, know that he's not really. He's blind, but he can see in a way, right?
He's effectively like not challenged as a blind person.
Like he can't visually see, but he's very aware of his surroundings.
Yes, like the things I like in Daredevil, like, and the Netflix show does this well. He can't read a text. He can't read newspapers. He can't, like, there's shit that he can't do because he's blind, but he can kick ass.
Actually, one of the things I really liked when Ben Affleck is like entering back into his house, but like from the hideout way, the secret entrance, he's got those like 3 combination locks, like a safe, and he spins all of them. And then just stops them because he can hear when it's at the right number. Mm-hmm. And just stops one by one. I was like,
that's dope.
Cool.
That's so sick.
But my point is, to Elektra, it would seem like he's faking being blind. No?
Yes.
If I were a woman and a guy tried to hit on me by being blind, and then he followed...
But he's got the cloudy eyes.
But she hadn't seen his eyes at that point. She had just seen the glasses.
No, it would be really, really weird if like someone like... hit on you and was like, I'm blind, by the way, and then exhibited a bunch of behaviors that you've never even seen or heard of a blind person like being able to do.
Dude, watch this.
Hey, watch your feet. Hey, watch your feet. You're going to trip them.
Yeah, exactly. Like, leading up to the Kung Fu, this is like, did you go to some kind of like pickup artist seminar and they told you to pretend to be blind? What's going on? This is creepy as fuck.
One of my favorite trope moments was when he gets like a phone call from a chick and it's like a voicemail and she's like, it's not going to work out. You're just so busy and you're always disappearing at weird hours of the night. Like, what could you be doing? And he's like, can't maintain a relationship, dude. I serve the city.
That was so bad. I completely forgot that was in the movie.
It's fun.
I thought
one of the worst parts. It's in Batman, but they just do it well with Rachel.
Rachel!
The
part where Jon Favreau says Elektra Nachos sounds like a Mexican appetizer.
Dude, he's such a great comedic relief in this movie.
Jon Favreau is good in everything. I don't think I've seen a Jon Favreau performance I didn't like.
Matt Murdock, also one of the things they got right about his character too was like he doesn't take clients for money. He tries to genuinely help people in need. Mm-hmm. And that leads to them getting paid in things like fish, which Foggy's not happy about. Mm-mm. And Foggy's like, his line I really liked was, I go salsa dancing on the weekend, but I don't shake my ass to pay my phone bill.
No, that was a good line. That was a good, funny line.
That's like, I felt like Jon Favreau came up with that on the spot.
No, these writers definitely didn't come up with that line. Are you crazy?
Mark Steven Johnson. Probably just a normal, nice guy. Don't need to throw him under the bus at all.
I'm throwing him.
Sorry.
I'm throwing him.
Mark.
He's under the bus. All right, I'm gonna put him in front of a fucking chemical container truck.
I really liked Joe Pantoliano, I think is how you say his name. I liked seeing him in this movie because the only other like roles that I can like think of him being in are in The Matrix, where he plays Cypher, who backstabs the entire group, and Ralphie in The Sopranos, who's just completely insufferable and just makes me stressed out just by watching him. Like, he's just the most annoying character on the whole show. And he's also like in Memento as a bad guy. And then he's just in this movie as a normal do-gooder, like, journalist. Like, I kept thinking that there was going to be a twist and he was going to be a bad guy, and it just never happened.
Yeah, because he's Ben Urich. Ben Urich's good people.
Yeah.
But that was the second Sopranos alum, little baby Soprano.
Oh, dude, I was going to bring up, I was so shocked that, like, in the bully scene in the intro with the kids, the main bully kid in the center, I was like, hold on. I was like, is that Robert Eiler? And I Googled it and I was like, it is. How did I because I haven't watched Sopranos. I just know him from more like podcasting and stuff. But I recognized him immediately and I was like, how? It's just something about his face. It's the same.
Yeah.
No,
he
looks pretty much the same as he did as a child, basically. Except now he's got a beard.
True. And he's sober now. It's not on pills.
Yes, and that. But what a gang of absolute douchebag miscreants.
And like, Jon Favreau is in The Sopranos.
Is he?
He plays himself in one episode.
That's great.
Love that for him.
Yeah. Trivia Corner with Abel.
Abel's Trivia Corner.
It's back.
I like the as far as like Stan Lee cameos go, I like this one a lot.
It's good.
As a blind kid just stops him from stepping out in the street and he's like, what the
Yeah, that's a great one.
It's good. It's good. I miss a Stan Lee cameo. I miss being taken fully out of the movie.
I got a package for Tony Stank.
Tony Stank drinks Asgardian meat or whatever is fucking wrecked.
Can I have my shoe back? A couple days before I watched this, I went thrifting. Went to a couple thrift stores and found it on DVD. So I ended up getting this on DVD for $1 and watched that. And then I also found the 2005 sequel, Elektra, which I have not seen yet. Now I also own that.
We are not watching that. I refuse. I outright refuse.
I will watch it eventually, and I will let y'all know what I think, because I've heard it's 10 times worse than this one.
How?
I'm super excited.
Oh, man.
Actually, give me a second. Let me read what it says on the box for Elektra.
No. Okay.
We got on the back, it says, superstar Jennifer Garner proves that looks can kill as the sexiest action hero ever to burst from the pages of Marvel Comics.
Elektra isn't a hero. Famously. No. She's a villain. She's an assassin for the hand.
And then there's also a bunch of special features. There's a whole disc of special features. And one of them is sneak peek at the return of TV's Family Guy and new series American Dad.
Awesome.
I'm so excited.
Oh, little fun fact that I don't know if everybody knows, and I wish they included in this movie. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, their origin is directly tied to Daredevil.
It's the same sludge, right?
It's the ooze that gets knocked out, goes into the sewer grate, and makes them... It gives them the mutant part of their TMNT. And then also their enemy is the... Whereas Daredevil fights the Hand Clan, they fight the Foot Clan.
And then how is that? Were they created by the same people?
No, they were a parody. They were supposed to be. It was supposed to be parody.
Oh, okay.
But it's fun.
Like the Ninja Turtles are so strange as an IP because when it started, it was like
brutal,
a parody, but it was also like for adults. Like it was pretty violent, right?
Yeah.
It was like bloody and like hardcore, and now it's like it almost feels like it's for a younger demographic than what it was parodying.
It is.
What about The Last Ronin?
I was gonna say The Last Ronin is for grown people, and The Last Ronin is great, and I want them to make a good rendition of it, please.
What is that?
It's so dope.
It's dope. Do you want to explain it?
I'll explain.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil who the last Ronin is.
Every turtle but one passes away.
And Shredder. Or not Shredder, Splinter.
And Splinter. And then the remaining turtle carries everyone's weapons as like an ode and becomes the last Ronin. And like is kind of like a Batman, like a darker vigilante.
Oh, okay. Is it a comic?
Yes. Mm-hmm. The only two people from like the original left are April O'Neil and the last one of the turtles.
That's strange.
Give your guess as to who the last turtle is, Abel. Let's hear it.
It's not going to be Donatello or Michelangelo. It's not those two.
Reasoning?
I'm not going to tell you
because they're not leading men. You know, they're good in a group.
They're supporting cast, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like the only like I've seen the Michael Bay ones, but my formative TMNT like piece of media is the 2007 animated movie. That's like basically what most of my knowledge on Ninja Turtles is based upon. I'm gonna go Raph.
Abel's guess is in. Listeners, either tell him he's correct or flame him.
Flame on.
We know.
We know.
Yeah, the flame's coming.
Is it Leonardo?
No.
We're not gonna tell you. Also,
it's one of the non-leading men.
Yeah, it's one of the. Also, they introduce 4 new turtles at the end, like they're 4 new mutants that April makes, and they all look very different. It's fun. I'm excited for that to keep going forward.
Can we talk about how Bullseye just indiscriminately kills 2 elderly people right off the bat because they're just minorly bothering him?
He's the best. Well, the first one I totally get. I think if an English person goes to clearly a superhuman who just hit 5 bullseyes in a row, if an English person is like, dirty Irish prick or whatever, I mean, like, come on.
You put 5 paper clips in his throat?
Well, like, I'm not going to fuck around with people with superpowers. I'm not going to be like, also, if you're a British person who's still like, oh, Irish people suck, maybe it's your time to go.
And then as opposed to turning his music up, he bank shots a peanut into this elderly woman's throat to make her choke and die.
He kills that woman. That one was crazy. Because she was talking. Because she
was being obnoxious.
It's not even, she was just being a nice old lady who talks a lot on a plane.
True.
But also for no one to notice that she was choking to death, she also didn't really make a fuss. She was just kind of like...
No, she died quick.
It's like, I'm kind of dying, and then died.
The stewardess is like, oh, she's sleeping.
That's like the most cliche thing that stewardess could have said.
Can I hit a special segment specific to this movie?
Let's hear it.
No, just kidding. Yes.
It's my favorite Daredevil specific lines. Like super cheesy, really bad lines.
Let's hear it.
When they're trying to prosecute that rapist in the beginning.
Oh, that was a question I had.
I hope justice is found before it finds you. And then
wait, pause.
And then they're walking out of. Okay, go.
Pause. Are they prosecutors or defense attorneys in this movie?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Because in the comics and in every other thing, Daredevil's a defense attorney, but the first thing we see them doing is prosecuting a man. Is that a civil suit? Because they go, he skipped on jail time, which isn't a civil suit. So clearly they're not civil lawyers or defense attorneys. So are they prosecutors? That means they would work for the state, because the state prosecutes. But they don't. They have their own practice. So what's actually happening?
Mark Steven Johnson has no grasp of the legal system.
None. Zero. He has never watched a singular episode of Law & Order, which I found out all those shows are part of the Dick universe.
The Dick Wolf universe?
They call it the Dick universe.
That's my favorite hat that I own.
I love
black hat with white text that says executive producer Dick Wolf.
It's so good. It's your best hat.
My favorite hat.
It's your best hat, Mason. It's your best hat.
I also stole it.
I think it's your worst hat, honestly.
That hurts.
Hey, Mason, I'm going to tell you this right now. I've seen some of the hats Abel wears, and this guy is throwing stones from a glass house. All right?
Okay.
I think it's also your best hat because I don't know any other hats that you have.
I got a nice Daniel Ricciardo McLaren hat. It's a good one.
I'm wearing a Kraken beanie right now.
That's solid.
I have 2 Kraken beanies that look almost identical, actually.
I bet you don't have a Winter Classic beanie, bro, because I got a Winter Classic beanie. You don't even know.
I don't even know. I don't even know what that looks like. Is it the salmon colored one?
No. I mean, I
Like
guess.
the same colors as the Winter Classic jersey?
Yes.
Oh, okay. It's not salmon colored. I don't know why I said it was salmon colored. It's
Yeah, that's
not.
crazy.
Those colors are... I really hated them when I first saw them, but then I was like, never mind. This is dope.
Yeah.
I like this.
It's great.
I want that.
It's great. Sorry, Mason. Continue.
Back to the Daredevil quotes. When they're leaving the courtroom and Foggy is like trying to get him to like go out, he's like, not tonight. I've got work to do. Because he's going to go after that guy.
Yeah.
And then when he just tosses Bullseye through the window and into the windshield of a car, he says Bullseye. Great line. After he beats up Wilson Fisk, he's like, justice is served. And then in his ending, like, epilogue to the movie, he's like, I set out to save the city, but with Elektra's help, saved myself. And then to cap it off, he's like, forever in darkness, a guardian devil.
Yeah, that sucked. That was the worst line in the whole movie, I think. They didn't give me enough of a reason to be like, this guy's the devil.
Nah, dude, edgy Ben Affleck Daredevil. Are we going to do everyone's favorite quotes?
Sure.
I can do some favorite quotes.
I kept one locked and loaded. I saved that one.
Me too. What's yours?
Mine is when he tosses the dude on the train tracks and he goes, hey, the light at the end of the tunnel, it's not heaven. It's the C train. That was my favorite.
Is that really how he ends that quote?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Yes.
And then he just gets run over.
I thought he said something smart after that. I remember he said, that's not heaven. But then I thought he said something like clever or like witty or whatever. And he's like, no, that's the C train.
It's the C train, dude. It's chugging.
My favorite line is when Foggy and Matt are at the gala or whatever. And Kingpin walks down and Jon Favreau goes, Wilson Fisk is in the hizzy.
Yes.
No, that's good.
That would have been really, really funny if it was a white actor playing the Kingpin. Like, I wonder what their intention was with that. Because now it feels like racially charged almost. Like, what would he have said that if it was a white Kingpin?
I did kind of like the casting for Kingpin.
No, it's good.
Oh yeah, it was great.
They totally wasted that actor because he's not in this movie and he's a shitty... As I said, he's a Kingpin who should have been caught like the second he started Kingpinning.
Yeah. I love every time he started like monologuing or whatever, he just got a great voice for it. It's awesome.
Yeah, he's a huge, imposing figure with a deep voice. It's a perfect Kingpin.
No, it's the perfect Kingpin. I have my favorite quote.
Yours, Carter?
It's when Bullseye is fighting Elektra and he goes, "You're good, baby. I'll give you that. But me, I'm magic."
And then he flashes it. He pulls a card out of nowhere.
Card and like paper cuts everything.
Learn this one from my friend Gambit.
Abel, what about you?
I already said mine. Wilson Fisk is in the hizzy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wilson Fisk is in his egg. That's so
I
stupid.
think that might have been a Jon Favreau ad lib.
I think Jon Favreau is going to be like, nope, that was on the page. It's on the page.
That was on the page.
Are we ready to rate this movie?
I think so.
Yeah, what would you rate this, Mason? You have to start it
10?
off now since you admitted.
10.
No, I don't think it's like... I think...
10 would be so funny.
I think in
Across the
terms of
board.
like actually being a good movie, it's not great. But I think in terms of being like horrendous, I don't think it is. I think it's more fun and laughable to watch. So I would give it a 5. and I would recommend it only to people like don't expect a good movie, but expect to like laugh and watch it with friends.
Oh, if I was watching this with you and some of our other friends from back home, Mason, I think I would have had a much more fun time with this movie.
I loved it when Daredevil is doing just like 6 consecutive slow-mo backflips as Bullseye is just like flicking like shuriken pieces of glass against him, and he's like doing all these backflips. Like, I don't think that's how it works, man. That's not realistic at all. Like, of course it's not realistic, but it's just funny that instead of just like dodging them all, he's just doing backflips without thinking about like, because if he's just throwing like a stream of darts basically at you, I don't think that's the best maneuver to dodge those.
Just to
I forgot to mention
move in a straight line.
When the kid version of Matt beats up the bullies, it's basically like him getting acid in his eyes made him be able to backflip and just kick ass.
That was
From zero momentum. He just is standing there, and then all of a sudden he's doing a backflip, and his foot's like 10 feet in the air.
Oh, that was great. I also love how they just zoom in on that kid actor, and they just waved a stick around him. Clearly. Abel, what's your rating?
I agree with a lot of what Mason said, that this is like a perfect drinking game movie. You know?
Also true, yeah.
That's fast.
Like, it's not like a great, like, I don't get much enjoyment from taking this movie seriously. As just a regular movie, it's like Aragon, but I think it's like easily like twice as funny as Aragon was. Just way easier to make fun of, you know? Because it's just so dumb. And there's so many like awful effects and like terrible action scenes and just stupid lines. Yeah, everything is just kind of dumb. So I don't hate watching this movie. I really like watching this movie, but it's also not good. I gotta kind of find where like objectivity and subjectivity collide. For me here is the 4 out of 10 is, I think, an ideal landing spot for this kind of movie. So I'll give it a 4. But if I was completely objective about it, it would probably be about a 2 or a 3.
I'm going to give 2 ratings. Okay?
That's cheating.
No, it's not cheating. I'm going to explain why I'm giving 2 ratings.
Because you're going to rate the show.
No. The show's a 10, baby. Fine, I'll give 3 ratings.
10.
Show, 10.
You don't get extra credit for watching the show, Carter.
I'm not looking for extra credit, and yes, I fucking do.
I will be getting extra credit for watching the Elektra movie, though.
Yeah.
Here's the
Those
deal.
are in the same continuity.
Here's the deal. I'm going to rate the experience of watching it with friends, right? And you're making fun of the movie, and you're laughing, and you're having a good time. That's like a 5 or 6. I have to give the movie a 5 or 6. In terms of it being an actual movie that it feels like maybe the director kind of took seriously, it's like a 2. Because the director clearly took it seriously. He didn't mean for it to be this comedy that it is.
And there is a director's cut because he was, I think, disappointed with the theatrical release, which I did watch, but don't really remember that. I think it was just more boring.
More boring is crazy.
This movie's funny bad.
This movie is funny bad. That scene with the sandbags is some of the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. Literally, one of my notes is she fucked up those sandbags. And then she does that, and then in her fight with Bullseye, she's a bum. She gets her ass kicked.
It's a lot different when you're fighting against a moving target.
Like, the only reason she stabs Daredevil is because Daredevil's like, wait, stop.
Stop, I love you.
I don't understand why he didn't just take off the mask. Because the second she saw his face, she was like, oh, what up? How you doing,
trying
babe?
to protect her, Carter.
From what?
I don't know, that's what they always say. And then that's exactly what they shoot back with. From what?
They're always like, that doesn't make any sense. If my enemies knew my identity...
From the truth.
If my enemies knew my identity, they'd come for you. And then they're like, yeah, but they'd do that anyway if I knew who you were or not. Which they never actually say. They're always like, that makes sense. It doesn't.
It's just a given. They don't make it a point in any of these movies. Well, not the bad ones, at least.
Most of the good ones.
They just are secret identities because that's how they are. That's how the comics are.
Because tension. Secret life tension.
Yeah, it's cool. Tension. Cool.
Double life tension. Anyway, yeah.
That's how you make a movie.
I'll average it out to like a 4, I guess. A 3 or 4.
I guess. Carter and I agreed on a movie.
Yeah, finally. Abel.
At least, well, we agreed on a movie that we both didn't like.
Yeah. I do like your scale though. The better a movie is, the harsher you grade it. The worse a movie is, the more lenient you are with it.
Yeah. I like to, I give points for just how much I enjoy watching it, but I also need to give points for like objectively doing a good job, you know?
Mm-hmm. I'll give points to a movie that I think is like good for a family to watch that maybe I didn't like love.
Yeah.
Like what?
Like Tarzan, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I love
Tarzan totally wasn't my pick.
I loved reviewing Tarzan with you guys.
Really?
Carter wasn't here.
I hated reviewing Tarzan with you, Carter. So I cut you out of the episode.
Everything I said was such a cold, shitty take that you had to fully cut me out of the episode.
We just like didn't respond to anything that you said.
Yeah. I would just say something and then it would be met with silence, and then you guys would move on to your next movie.
Yeah, what have we been watching?
I said what I've been watching. I've been watching Daredevil, the Netflix show. And I'm still watching Invincible. Man, that dude is quite vincible.
What are you talking about?
He's been vinced so many times.
He's so vincible, bro. You've never seen Invincible at the end of a fight not bleeding his fucking guts out.
Is he dead?
I have not seen the show.
No, he's not
dead. Well, riddle me that, Kurt.
That's not what Invincible means. That's immortal. If he wants to call him, oh wait, but there's already a superhero with the immortal name.
Yeah, but he sucks.
He does. He's a bitch, bro. The Mauler twins, really, dude? That's what I've been watching. What about you, Mason?
Yeah, I watched those, and then I watched last night the most recent. There was a UFC fight night in Seattle.
Did you go to that?
I did not. I considered it, and then I was glad I didn't buy tickets because like 7 fights got canceled or rescheduled, so they had to like last minute fill in a bunch of dudes. So like the original fight card did not look the same as the one that actually got put on, but it ended up being like a pretty good event. Besides, like it was a great event all the way up until the last fight. One dude got eye poked, and then he was like, I can't see, like I'm seeing 4 of you right now. And so they stopped it and went to the judges' scorecards because it was like 3 rounds in. So they were like, we can score the rounds that already happened.
Did that guy win?
He did not.
Oh, that sucks.
So he got poked in the eye and he lost. But Henry Cejudo, he was double champ at one point. He had his glory moment. I don't feel bad for him. Song Yadong is on the rise.
I don't know any of these people.
Dude, Song Yadong is just a wild man from China.
Whenever I I tried to get into UFC for a couple of years, and I would watch like every like numbered event, and I'd be like, I'm finally starting to understand like the scope of this. Like I'm getting all of the people's names down. Like I know people. And then every event, it would be a new person. Like, I would be like, I don't recognize any of these people. Like, there's just too many people to keep up with.
Well, there's going to be, like, lower ranked dudes and, like, up-and-comers on the lower, the, like, undercard fights.
Yeah.
And then it'll be the recognizable names on, like, the main card. But I feel
there's so many of those.
I don't know. I started getting into, like, I found smaller sports where there was, like, less people for me to get to know than like entire teams of people. I always struggled with following like those rosters.
Yeah.
Where it's like, 50, 60 deep and you're like, I
don't know. I like attaching identities to like teams and stuff with certain players or whatever.
That's where I find it easier with individuals in like fighting.
Yeah.
Is liking certain individual fighters.
I'm not a parasocial relationship guy, so I do teams from my city.
Go Kraken.
Go Kraken.
That's our only sport that's on right now, so.
Go
No,
Storm.
Mariners spring training is on. Go Storm! Probably our winningest team. Probably our winningest team in our city, let's be real.
I'm not even a Storm fan. I hate to break it to you.
When did I say you were, Abel? When did I say?
Lynx. Go Lynx.
What the fuck did you just say to me?
I said go Lynx.
Go Seawolves. Rugby, baby. Anyway, this isn't a sports podcast. What have you been watching, Abel?
I watched Hot Fuzz. I got that on DVD while I was thrifting.
Maybe it would be quicker if you told me all the DVDs you didn't get, Walter.
I got 4 DVDs while thrifting. I got Daredevil. I got Elektra. I got Hot Fuzz, and I got The Thin Red Line, which I have not seen yet, but I've heard is really good. So I'm going to watch that at some point. Hot Fuzz is one of my favorite movies ever. It's so funny. So many funny-ass lines.
It's a great movie.
That I think about all the time.
A great big bushy beard.
I also listened to a new song this week.
One new song?
Yeah, just one. It's called Houseplant Dub.
Oh.
It's pretty good.
Thanks. You like it?
Yeah. I'm not like a big EDM guy, but I was like, I'll listen to it.
Thank you.
Abel put out a song, people, if you want to listen.
Yo, go listen. Abel, plug your SoundCloud right now. Plug it.
It's Snowbound Sound.
I was teeing you up.
SoundCloud.com/snowboundsound.
Boom.
Boom.
Does that lead us into the plugs, baby?
Wheel spin and then plugs?
Oh, wheel spin!
Wait, what are we watching?
I forgot we're doing wheel spin. Shit.
We have a spin. We have a spin, baby.
Spin week.
Whose turn is it? We haven't spun in like over a month.
I don't even know.
Is it my turn?
Let's backtrack. What was the last spin pick?
I think you, right? With Tarzan?
I think it was Tarzan.
So does that... I'm forgetting the rotation. Does that make it Abel or me? I can't rember.
Let me look. I have this all in a spreadsheet. Believe it or not.
Listeners, we have a spreadsheet. While you do that, I'm going to see if we have any emails.
I think, yeah, it is me. Wait, no, I did The Giver after Tarzan.
That's right.
So it is Carter.
Okay.
Okay, are we ready to spin?
Give it a spin, baby. Listeners,
All
it's
right,
time
Carter.
to spin that wheel.
It's spinning, oh my god.
Oh my god, the wheel is spinning. What's it going to land on?
You went Seinfeld there.
Oh.
Talking animals.
I thought it was going to go on that one that you put in. I can't even remember what it said.
Talking animals, I think, was what prompted Tarzan.
Oh, this is my bread and butter right here. I'm trying to decide.
Actually, there's one I have.
I'm trying to decide what to go with here, though. That's too recent, though. You know what? Oh, I've decided. It was between 3. And I will say which 3. The Legend of the Guardians of Gahul. The Zack Snyder Owl movie.
Let's do it.
Dude.
I read a few of those books. I watched that movie on a plane when I was like 10.
Dude.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Fuck
That is Talking Animals. I believe it's called Legends of the Guardians, and then the subtitle is The Owls of Gahul, which is like the worst thing you could name your first movie.
Yes.
In a hopeful series that never took off.
Legends of the Guardians of the Galaxy Gahul.
Here's what it was between. American Tail, Babe, and Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Oh, Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe would have been fire.
It would have been fire. American Tail is also great.
I don't even
All
know
of them
that
were
one.
great. You don't know American Tail?
No.
I can't remember what that is.
I also low-key would have been kind of pissed if you were like, we're watching Babe.
Oh, Babe and American
I'd
Tail.
be down to watch Babe again.
No, if
That's
you're going to watch
George
a pig,
Miller.
go Charlotte's Web. What are we talking about?
You guys are crazy. American Tail and Babe are whatever. Oh, Oliver and There's so many good ones for this category.
Fox and the Hound.
Dude, Fox and the fucking Hound. Oh my god.
Fucking Hound.
There's so... Balto!
Brother Bear.
No. Dude, oh my god. Dude.
It's a goated category.
Oh my god, this category is so goated. It's the best Stuart Little! The Wild? Did anybody see The Wild? Who watched The Wild?
Oh, I remember seeing posters for that.
Oh, it's so...
Where the wild things are?
No.
No, The Wild.
The Wild. The Wild.
It was like a ripoff of Madagascar.
Oh, Oh. But
Madagascar.
yeah.
Speaking of that got kind of what a good one though.
That was a crazy noise that you just made.
In terms of like just all animated characters, the penguins from Madagascar have to be up there.
They're up there. They're crazy.
They're great. I love them.
Fantastic Mr. Fox,
Skipper,
Isle of Dogs.
Kowalski. Private, yes.
You can do this. What's the last
There's
one?
more.
I know it, but what's the last one?
I don't know, because in my head it's always just Kowalski, status report.
Kowalski, analysis.
Yeah, but he throws it up. What does he say when he wants something? What does Skipper say when he wants something?
I can't.
It's Rico, baby.
I
wouldn't have gotten that.
That's the exact sound I make when I forget one of the penguins in Madagascar's names.
That should be our new intro song. Is Mason going, Abel, sample Mason going, and make us an intro song.
I'll do my best.
blend it into the intro
see
of
what I can do.
Thundershock.
Oh man. Anyway, should we do our plugs and then finish this episode?
Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok and Blue Sky. And fucking, we're on YouTube, and we're gonna get an RSS link soon, so we should be up on those other podcast catchers soon.
And we're on Gmail.
We're on Gmail. Gmail us. Send us a Gmail. All right, that's the episode, ladies and gents. Goodbye.
Yeah, bye. Take care.
So yeah.
He's an absolute.
Stop. I love you.